Here I am again with the F6F-5N. This is a highly requested plane for some reason, and people have to believe that thing is extremely good. Well, yes, it has very good guns. Other than that, this thing is subpar in almost every category to other 4.3s. So even though if you might do well on this plane, even though it is the best plane on the stat card, this does not mean that this plane is actually the best. Objectively speaking, especially when only looking at the flight performance, the speed is below average, the climb is below average, the retention is below average, the turn rate is below average. Yes, it has good armament, and yes, it's decent at high speed. This plane is actual dog water. And I'm gonna be showing you just how to kill people with some dog water, with some luck involved. I have a lot more energy than this guy, I have a lot more energy than the A7N, and what does he do? The one thing that will get him killed. He's gonna pitch up into me. I'm still going 430, I go horizontal a little bit to bleed him of his speed, to prolong my stall because I'm still having some good speed left here. He's hanging from the air, I keep horizontal, and then I can easily pitch up into it. Shoot him down, and now we look for the next target. There's a P-47 on my left and a P-51 on my right. I want to kill the P-47 because he's simply a lot closer to me at this point. He's very low on energy as well. I can simply just dive on him again, outrun him, and then maybe shoot him down. He dodges my shots. I keep going for the P-47. I notice that the P-51 is going for the guy on my left. He's not paying attention at all to me, so I can easily switch target, shoot him apart, and then pull back in before the P-47 deep. I'm going to be chasing him. He's already one of the last guys in the enemy team. I have all the ammo in the world, so I'm going to be using it. I don't care about missing as long as it doesn't lose me the game. P-47, he's very slow, he's trying to roll out of the way. If he had just flatlined it, he probably would have actually been able to outrun me. He goes into the floor, and then we go into the next game. And before you ask, yes, the flight performance of the French one is one-to-one identical to the American one. So you don't have to worry about that if there's any differences. You want to fly this thing the same, and that's by not putting it in your crew slot. If you want to spade it, be my guest, but I'm gonna go ahead on with this Yak 9 because I simply want him dead. He hits me a couple times here with Chavax, and that's gonna be, well, he should have died, but I could have easily died there as well. Luckily this thing is an absolute tank, which is one of the best features of this plane, together with the guns. You got the A&M2s, and those A&M2s hit extremely hard, and you also don't really die. You have a nice radial engine that soaks up damage, you have a frame that doesn't fall apart, which makes it pretty good in just kind of flying around with your head cut off. You can just kind of spray all your ammo, get hit, and don't really give a single damn. And that's the only good thing about this plane, really. Well, it might be really bad. I didn't really mind flying it too much. 109, I'm lurking the clouds. I pitch up into him. He doesn't see me because I'm below him, set him on fire, and there's a Yak 9 below me again. That's the same guy as earlier, and he's going to be pitching into me. He's already crit. It's a Yak 9P. I can't really rudder over, only hit a few 50 cals, but at this point I have a lot more energy than him. And the Yak 9P is also a plane that's, well, not very good, but it will still beat me in a dogfight. So I'm not going to take this, I'm just going to be diving out, and as you can tell, it's already starting to overheat. If it goes into the red, it will, in the long run, damage your engine to the point where a lower temperature will also overheat your plane. And this will keep building up until you overheat it on 80% throttle, because it can sustain the heat. Makes sense, I know, but a lot of people don't actually notice. He broke off, so I pulled back into the Yak 9, and now I'm on his 6, and well, he's still faster than me. Luckily there's some friendlies in the area. I'm just kind of spraying, because I can, I have the ammo, I have the guns for it, and I'm damaged. And at this point I'm kind of thinking, I'm probably going to RTB soon anyway, so I'm not really ammo conservative at this point. But the Yak 9P dives below his friend, the 190, which is a very good idea, because now if I go for him, I will die to the 190. I'm not going to do that, however. I don't have the most amount of speed, but that Yak 9 is crit, so I should be alright. And I'm going to be stalling out this 190, and the only reason I can do this is because I'm going pretty fast. I just came out of a dive, I'm going over 550, he's in a 190A, and I noticed because it's not a 5.3 match, so he can be a Dora, and he was on the deck. I was a lot lower than him, and this Yak is again hitting me after me hitting him. I crit him at the start, and then he hit me quite a lot actually, and now he did it again. I killed him, and then he again hit me a lot. And this 190 is now basically stalled out. He's way too slow, and that's why it's important to know your energy state. And if you struggle with energy state, I highly suggest you to watch the video. I will link in the top right there. Yes, it's a very long video, but this goes for almost every prop and even jets. but you have to know your energy states and you have to know the planes that you're fighting. And that's just how RRB works, and that's why I can kill people in this absolute shit barn of a plane. And it not all comes down to the enemy making mistakes. It's about you knowing what you can do. Like, you have very limited options, and most of the time that limited option won't work. So you have to take the option that's the most likely to succeed. Bait people into stalls that they can't get in, but you have to know your energy states, which is why I highly suggest you to watch that video on the top right. It's less important than aiming, because when you get someone slow enough, even your Grandma Josephine will hit the shot. And now I see an LA7 above me, and he will outdo me in virtually everything. Luckily he has F6F, and I have a very strong damage model, which is the only edge that I have right here, surviving his hits and then maybe reversing him. Luckily he has a P47 on him. He's already smoking, so he's already damaged, so I'm kind of expecting him to dive on me here, because he's already desperate, because he's already dead. And even though I have this damage model, and even though he has F6F, I don't want to bet on it, because a lot of times someone will hit you, and he will take your wing off regardless of what gun they're using, and that's just how this game feels sometimes. So what do? I pick up some speed in the dive, I then dive into him, pick up even more speed, he's gonna compress, he can't pull into this. And he's gonna overshoot me in a second here, get out of his guns. He's much slower than me. P47 breaks off. He switches targets to the P47 for a little bit, and it simply isn't going to work. You're way too slow for that. It was probably more damage than I thought he was, but he was hanging from the air very soon there, and he flew through my guns. I wasn't sure if I could leave the shot to the P47. Maybe I stole that. If I did, I'm sorry, but I didn't want to risk it. I'm already pretty severely damaged, and 50 kills are some of those planes that kind of hinder this thing, because well, they set fires, they kill your engine, they kill your pilot, and those are the kind of things I don't want to get hit by. Flying over to that side of the map, going head on with the Dornier 335. That plane got an updated flight model, by the way. I might revisit that thing pretty soon here, but don't ask me to. I've already flown a lot of bad planes to begin with. Just go head on with him, pull out last second, and he's dead. A&M2 is doing their work. And now we're going to be looking at two guys camping their airfield for a very prolonged period of time, which is another reason why I use this footage. They're fighting a plane that's a lot worse than theirs. It's basically a worse P47 with slightly better guns. And yet they don't want to leave the airfield. It's 3v2 at this point. One of the X is landing, he's going to repair. And the P47 is RTB. But yet they completely insist on sitting on the airfield, using their airfield as cover, which I can understand to a certain degree. But if you're just gonna sit on the airfield and never get out, I wonder why you even play this game. And if you haven't been able to tell yet, these are the old gun sounds, so they aren't even doing an event. Sure, I get it, you want to win, you want your RP. But do you really need to sit on the airfield and let the game win the game for you? I don't see the fun in it, other than maybe getting a little bit more RP. Fighting me, maybe losing, will teach you a lot more than simply falling back on the base and then dying, because you're gonna die to an RNG factor. You're dying because the airfield didn't save you, which doesn't teach you anything. In the long run, that's gonna teach you nothing other than rely on RNG more and play it even more passively and sit on the airfield even longer. And I'm gonna stop the speed up in a second here and show you how badly these guys messed up. Yak 9 is kind of flying towards me and he's breaching the 4 kilometer mark. At which point you kind of just have to stick it, which is what I'm trying to achieve right here, because I know that if I engage this Yak 9, that P47 is probably going to get aggressive enough to attack me. So with a little bit of luck, this guy is going to fully commit head on me. He's a Yak 9P, he only has F6F, and he sticks it, he hits me, and again I survived another hit. I went head on, I have some speed to dodge here, and here come the 5th kills, and I told you they only hit important components. He hit my pilot, and he hit my engine, and at this point I am basically done. Is it only a D27, which is the same fight performance as a D25, and all I have to do now is get my guns on target. But this guy is playing energy, as you can tell. The thing is, however, he had me completely stalled out, and he turns back in my guns. He turned to one direction I could have killed him in. Thank you very much. And the reason I use this gameplay, because I'm not gonna try to say and sit here that it was very good gameplay. Trying to show you that you have to have some luck in this plane to do well, and if you're lucky with the plane, all power to you. But don't go in here and tell me this plane is actually good. Thank you very much. Have a nice Sunday, and see you all very soon.